Hey, welcome to the Strong Roots podcast. My name is Kristin Hill, and we are so excited that you're tuning in today. Our prayer is that you would move one step closer to Jesus through this series. So go ahead and check out this next episode. Welcome back to the Strong Roots podcast. We are on episode 3. We are talking about realigning your dreams, and we are so excited that you're back here with us and tuning in. I'm here with Missy. She is going to talk about how after her husband going to prison, she has had to realign her dreams. And I'm so excited you're here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You ready to dive in?
Yes.
Okay. So has there been a dream or goal you had that you had to give up in order to do what God asked of you as a mother?
So there's a couple of ways that I was thinking about this. So the dream before Christ,
Yes,
would have been to stay in the home that we'd built together, raise the kids there, be able to do all the things that we had been doing as a family. The kids were showing cattle, showing pigs. We were going on camping trips every summer. They'd be able to go down and fish in the pond that we had. And we just lived in a very peaceful, serene setting, out in the country. So I had to give up that dream, and it was easier to do because God was in my life.
Right.
Because I realized Jesus was the most important thing to me. It wasn't all the stuff.
Right.
It wasn't the house. It wasn't, going on these trips. It wasn't, being able to do all the fun things that we were blessed to do at that time of our life. But just knowing that He was in my life now. So that's the realization from the loss of that dream. So that's been wonderful.
Absolutely.
He's replaced all of that stuff. He's replaced it.
Amazing. And do you feel like, too, sometimes when God doesn't fulfill a dream, that He just does something in you that is so much better than that dream ever could have done?
Oh, yes. Yeah, He totally just rearranged my life.
Yes.
In an instant, everything was changed. You know how they say your life changes in an instant?
Yes.
It did. And once I realized, that Jesus was the way, everything else did not matter.
Right.
It did not matter.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Okay, so what were your priorities before you forgave your husband? And then what were they after?
So before I forgave, I wasn't in a relationship with Jesus.
Right.
So it was all about me.
Absolutely.
It was everything I lost. It was being angry and bitter at Mark for what he had done. His crime punished me. I was suffering. So it was totally about me.
Right.
And also being angry that he did this, this crime, and it affected our children.
Right.
But, when I heard God say, love him through this and forgive him because he needs to find me, I forgave him. And then it was, I'm going to carry his burdens. I'm going to help him through this because God loves me and he's forgiven me. God's forgiven me for everything that I've ever done. So how could I not forgive Mark?
Absolutely. And what has felt better? Being resentful and bitter and angry at your husband, or actually carrying his burdens?
Totally carrying his burdens.
Yeah.
Because when I know how I felt when I was angry and I did not like myself.
Right.
I didn't like living that way. I wasn't sleeping. I was totally depressed. But carrying his burdens after forgiving him was who I needed to be. It's who God wanted me to be.
It's so good.
That's what I did. And
Yes.
it felt, I was joyful and at peace doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing that.
Right. Isn't it interesting? Because I feel like people listening will be like, carrying somebody else's burdens, that feels better than carrying your own.
Right.
How can you even explain it? Can you? I don't know.
It is hard to explain, especially because I know how I was before Jesus. It was hard for me to understand somebody that was in a relationship with Jesus, how they could serve and how they could do and give of themselves.
Right.
And not feel like they've been, taken advantage of.
Used.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I didn't feel that.
Yeah.
Having that relationship with Jesus now, I feel like I can give love and not expect anything in return, and it's unconditional love,
It's miraculous.
It is. It's giving of yourself, giving of your heart, and just loving completely. That's what it's been.
Isn't it interesting how you think you know love, but until you encounter Jesus, it's just a mere reflection?
It is. Yeah, like I said, I think I told somebody before, I thought I loved Mark the day we married, but after Jesus, I loved Mark.
Yes.
I loved Mark.
So good. So, all right. How have you prioritized self-care and also new goals?
So I have made it a point to take care of myself. I have to stay healthy. I have to stay healthy for the kids. I have to stay healthy for Mark. So I'm eating healthy. I'm exercising. I really haven't set new goals for myself at this point.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I am
Yes.
busy trying to manage the household, take care of the kids, go see Mark on the weekends, attend church, work my 2 jobs, be a leader of a small group.
How do you do it?
It is definitely leaning on God.
Yeah.
Asking Him to, help me with the scheduling. It's definitely having my calendar with me, but not saying yes to everything, like I would do before.
Question for you, because we're talking now 3 years after the fact. So what would you say to somebody who finds themselves single or in a situation? Would you suggest certain goals, or would you say not to, or would you suggest prioritizing certain things?
I would definitely start with prioritizing certain things, and that would be getting in the Word.
Okay.
It would be, and journaling. For me, that's what has helped me get through a lot of lonely days. But definitely reading the Bible, doing devotionals with my husband has helped. But journaling, I have found that is a strength that I didn't know I had. Like, that is my passion.
That's so cool.
I'm a better writer than I am a speaker. At least I think I am. I don't
you're
know
a great
if that's
speaker.
True. But yeah,
so cool.
it's been through this struggle, I have found my passion.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So.
And I think so often we think, I need to find my passion and then I will succeed. And when we view struggles, we don't think, oh, God's going to do something awesome out of this.
Right.
But I love that through the struggle, He gave you this gift.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, more than that.
Well, and it was there. It was like in hibernation, and it just took a life change.
Yep.
And surrendering to Jesus to bring it out of me.
That's beautiful. So cool. So what dreams and goals are you most excited about right now?
The biggest dream right now is to get Mark home.
Right.
And it's a goal too. I mean, it's a goal to get him home. And, so we can be together as a family.
Right.
We can come to church together as a family.
And we get to meet him.
Yes, get to meet him. And he gets to meet everybody here.
Yes.
And also, just praying to God every day, to change the situation, I know he has a plan. I know God's plan is perfect. I don't understand, the why, why he's still there, and answering the prayer that I'm asking. But, he knows.
Right.
He knows. So.
And he's writing a bigger story.
He is, and he's teaching me to trust him more every day. And he's teaching Mark to trust him, through this.
What would you want to say to somebody right now who is in the midst of a dream dying, who's in the midst of a struggle, and maybe they've been hurt by Christians who are like, oh, God's going to do something great, or, sometimes you don't want to hear that.
Right.
But what would you, in the midst of the darkest moments, what did you need to hear? Or what do you want to say to somebody?
Yeah, there are people that don't want to, especially those that don't have that relationship with Jesus. They may not understand, when you say trust in Jesus.
Right.
But just telling them my story, telling them, how I got through, praying when I'd never prayed before.
Right. So start
praying, start small.
That's good.
Also the journaling. Having a relationship is the best thing ever, but you don't have to have that relationship to journal. And that could lead you into that relationship with Jesus.
Right.
Writing, maybe 5 things that you're thankful for that day. Starting small that way.
Yes.
And also getting connected with people.
Right.
Don't stay home.
Oof. And isolate yourself.
Don't isolate yourself. Reach out, to friends that you can trust and you can lean on. And if you haven't been to church, come to church. There are a lot of good people at church that love you.
Yes.
And they want to help.
Yes.
They do.
So true. Looking for ways to help. I know so many people who would love to help.
Right.
Absolutely. All right, last question. You ready?
Yeah.
So what disappointments do you need to give to God to move forward? Or even, so I want to hear in the past, but I also want to hear in the present. Because I'm still giving things to Jesus that in order to move forward, right?
Right. So I still struggle with the losing, our home. It was a beautiful place to raise the kids. They miss it. I miss it. So I struggle with that because I know that's not what's important. So I have to go to God and I have to give that to him. Help me get through this. The other disappointment is having to take on a second job. Right. It's been like, how much more do I have to do? But trusting that he is with me through it. Giving me rest when I need it. Giving me the strength to, do it every day. And the biggest job is raising the kids. Yes. That's the biggest job. And just, having him give me the words to say in those moments that, we may be quarreling or, and also, the fun times that we're laughing, and just being thankful for each moment, the hard times that we're having and the good times that we're having, and just being thankful in all that.
Absolutely. And I feel like you juxtapositioned children and work, and I feel like work is way more predictable than children.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. So, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Is there anything you want to add? Is there anything you want the people watching this to know or leave them with?
I would say the one thing I have learned through this is forgiveness. Forgiveness has been powerful. It saved us. It saved me. Jesus forgiving me saved me.
Yes.
It saved my marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. It saved my kids from, parents separating.
Yes.
So forgiveness is huge.
So how do you forgive?
I forgave out of love.
Yes.
I mean, that's what Jesus does. He forgives you because he loves you. So that's what I did.
That's true love.
It's true love. It's complete, unconditional true love.
So good. We just have to leave it at that. So good. Thank you so much, everyone who is watching right now. We appreciate you so much. And thank you for tuning in. We can't wait to hear from you and have you watch next time. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow us on our other social media platforms. We don't want you to miss out on any future content. Thank you so much again, guys. I hope you have a great day. And I want you to know I am personally praying that your roots stay strong.